All right. Yes, here we are. Thank you, Caitlin.
For the record, this is Jen. She was the prepared one. Mine is on the printer. She ran to grab it for me.
Oh, good. So this is session 1. We have our worksheets. All right. Can you guys see this worksheet?
Yep.
Yes. Up here? Awesome. Okay. So this is going to take us through to today's course, today's session, workshop, whatever you want to call it, and stuff. And it's really, today's a groundwork. Okay. Today we're going to get into, the goal for today is stability with our money. Stability with our emotions around money. If we have negativity, we have a lot of negative or anger or resentment about money. Stability with our income. Stability with our savings. And if we can find stability with our expenses. Because how much smoother is life when it's stable? Right? When we know what's going on. And I always think about my daughter. She goes nuts right before we're about to leave. And it's kind of like the unknown to her. You know, where are we going? You know, we're rushing out the door. And that's her meltdown. She's fine when she's in her routine and she knows exactly what we're doing. Oh, we're going to school. We're going home. We're going to her nanny's house. The structure, the routine of things makes her feel stable. Right before an unknown is when she freaks out. Right? So that's really what we're going to focus on today. So the biggest question is, why is money important in your world? Okay. Money can mean a lot of different things to us. Money can mean success. Money can mean love, if we like to be very generous with our money. Or maybe we want to work so that we can provide for our family because that's our way of giving to our family. Money can be freedom or security or time. And so many times I tell women, especially business owners, the more money you earn, it's not a bad thing to want to earn more money. It also means it frees you up to have more time with your family or frees you up to have more time with your clients. Because you're not doing all the day-to-day tasks, the paperwork, the contracts, invoicing. It lets you actually be with your clients instead of worrying about the background noise of your business, which kind of takes us out of our game. It takes us away from meeting people. It takes us away from delivering to people. So why is money important to you? Do you guys all have something down?
Yep.
Yeah? Who wants to share?
I'll share.
Caitlin?
Important to me to be able to live without the stress. And I feel like without money, it's a very stressful life. So for me, there's like some equation between having money and making money to a less stressful life. And then also to be able to enjoy fun activities, camps, vacations, etc.
Okay. So it gives you the freedom to not be bogged down by the stress. It gives you the freedom to be able to do those things that you want to do, or the security. I think security and freedom really go hand in hand in that way. It gives you when you feel secure, it gives you the freedom, almost like okay, you can do this.
Right.
The permission.
The permission. Yeah. Permission.
Right. No. Anybody else?
I definitely agree with that. Like, it gives you ease in your life. You're not so overwhelmed. And I also wrote down like stability and freedom.
Mm-hmm. Good. I grew up, like, my father he's a very generous person. He always brings his neighbors, cases of wine, donuts on the weekends, ice cream, whatever it is. So my view is always kind of like, well, that's how we show our love. By giving people things, by giving them generous gifts and all that stuff. So one side of my background is money is love. But now, especially being a mom and needing time, I'm realizing the more money I earn, the more time I have. Right? You almost can buy time because you can hire people to do stuff that you shouldn't be doing, don't want to do, hate doing. And it gives you the freedom, the security to be able to do the other things. So I think that's what I've been working on over the last year is time. And I've gone from hiring nobody to having a lot of different consultants who I work with, my assistant, more and more people. But that was a scary hurdle to get over. hiring people because like they're not going to do as good as I do. No one's going to do it as good as we do it. No one's going to care as much as we do it. That's not really the point. If it can get done enough so that it still represents you and what you're about, that's what's important. So that what people really care about isn't how good the email looks. What people really care about is what you're delivering to them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so money values. So what are the 3 money values that you want to live by? And maybe you already are living by them, or you want to change the ones that you currently are living by.
What do you mean by like the money value? Like I value health kind of thing, and like so I want to make sure we have enough money to be able to cover health expenses. Like I'm struggling with even what a money
I know.
value is.
I actually took a quiz online because I'm like, I don't really know. I Googled money values.
Okay. Thank you. Because
So, let me relate it this way. I've been talking a lot about, especially with my new book coming out, inheritance. And I tell people that just because your money is going to get inherited by your children doesn't mean your money values are going to be inherited by your children. So a money value could be, you know, the old school ways. You have to work hard for your money. Right? You could be, my money value is the more value I give, the more money I earn. Like one of my money values is the more money I earn, the more women I can help. Right? A money value could be, we've always heard, you know, money doesn't grow on trees. the scarcity mindset. So maybe you want to be, a money value is money is always abundant. Money is a blessing for a life. Money is a tool that we
these are
use
ones
to
that we
live.
want to create, not ones that are already existing.
Yeah, that ones that you want to live by.
Okay.
But you can write down the ones that you currently think you're living by or living according to. And it kind of falls back to, why is money important to you? What is the value behind that? A money value could be some people think greedy people, only wealthy people are greedy. Right? That could be an old belief that they tell themselves, but they want their money value to be, having wealth means I can be more generous. I can be more charitable. Some people start a business because they want to be able to help other people and hire other people, right? Not just help them with their services, but actually hire them and give them a job and give them an income, a means to live. That could be their money value. So you could also think about it, how would you want your future kids or your current kids to view money? Is money a blessing in your life? Is money just a tool? Like we neutralize any emotions around it. It's just a tool. Does that make more sense now?
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, good. But it is a hard thing to think about.
It is.
And I think about it now, like, how do I want Andy to view money as she grows up? Right now, she thinks it's a game when she puts it into her piggy bank. She said, I want to play money. I want to play coins.
I want to tell you a funny story. My son, who just started kindergarten, my little one, he has a different kind of piggy bank. Long story, not important, but now he can get in and out of it very easily. Big mistake. And he was getting ready to go, like, get on the bus and go to school the other day. And he like runs upstairs and he comes back down and he's like shoving something in his book bag. I'm like, what are you doing? What's going on? We're going to be late. And he's like, I just have to get $2. I'm giving $2 to Lily on the bus. And I'm like, why are you giving $2 to Lily on the bus? And he's like, because I want to. And I'm like, Emerson, listen, we don't just like give money for no reason. And of course you're like trying to be careful what message you're sending them, right? Like, I don't want to say like, we don't give money away. Like, don't be generous. But at the same time, you want to like tell them like, don't just give your money away. I don't know. Okay. Wait, exactly, right? Who's this girl taking your money already? Anyway, but here's the funny part about it. So I go into his book bag to take the money out because in this like busy, I only have 30 seconds to get them out the door. I can't even think about what the right move is as a parent. I'm like grabbing the money out of his book bag. He grabbed 2 tens.
Oh.
He doesn't know the difference between $1 bill and a $10 bill. And so he thought he was giving her $2. He was really giving her $20. And I was like, okay, pause.
No.
so many things, all the things. I'm taking your money, you're going back in your piggy bank, and we'll have to talk about this later. And of course, I haven't necessarily revisited the issue because I'm like, this intentional, like this point, like I want my message to be intentional to him about money. I want him to be generous. I don't want him to be like crazy, like, oh my God, we gotta like save. Don't give your money away because that's his father. And I also don't want him to be like me, which is like, oh, okay, every time, like whatever, give it, it's cool. You like her, she's nice, give her the money, you know?
Give her $20, she's pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true, and it goes, what is the exchange? Did she just ask for money, or did you come up with this notion, oh, I'm going to give you money because I like you?
Right. But to your point with Andy, it's just being like fun. Like he doesn't understand, right?
Yes.
Like what $20 even is.
Yeah, is he viewing it as him giving her a toy?
Right.
And stuff. And I think about, I always have Andy give the money into the basket at church. And I want her to know we're not like, oh, we have to give more money. We have to donate more money, or it's a negative thing for an exchange, or just like give somebody money without expecting anything in return. Too. But it's also good, I hear, we're kind of going on a tangent with the kids, but some parents force their kids to give back, right? A certain percentage of the money that they get from birthdays or holidays, whatever, graduations. And we say, well, have the kid pick out where to give the money or to donate, because then they see it, they get invested in it, and there's more of a reward for them, more satisfaction than you just saying, oh, we're going to do local food bank, or we're going to do this charity and stuff. So that kind of goes into the money values, and you can just always think back to, okay, well, how do I want my kids to be with money, to behave with money? And that's a good one for us to live by, because they're gonna view it from us first. Yeah. Okay. And then below that, we have our money goals. What would be your top 3 money goals? And it could be for the year, it could be for this program, it could be your life goals. What will be your money goals? It could be salary, or amount of money in savings, amount of money in retirement. And as you think about this, I had my Strong Retirement Club event last night, and we were going over how much is enough. How much is enough? It's a loaded question, and when we don't know how much is enough, we're always chasing more. We're never going to be satisfied with where we're at. Which in one way, it's good to keep us pushing, but when we are insatiable with money, it can also become dangerous. And it comes into, what is the inner conversation you're having, especially as business women, when we're trying to help people, give them a service, if it's coming from money versus from the purpose of helping, right? So when we don't know how much is enough, what is that goal? What does that level look like? We can start to lead from a fear of never having enough money, or of always wanting more, instead of the real reason why we're in this is to help people. Okay. So what are your money goals? Did anybody put down income, a goal for salary? Yeah. How about for savings?
I did it for
Good for
retirement.
you.
I said in 10 years, 1 million for retirement.
Love
I
it.
think
Awesome. And I was just going to ask, what is the time frame for them, for your goals? You said 10 years, Jen?
for the million, my million, I think in 10 years. So
Okay.
by like early 50s, I'll just like, cruising along. I'm like, I can retire now, no big deal.
I got 10 other Jen doulas helping me.
There will never be another Jen doing
Thank you.
my salary one was by the end of 2020. So that gives me like, the rest of 2019 to plan strategy, and then 2020 to like do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Right.
Good. What about you, Amanda? What type of goals did you set?
So I wanted to grow my savings, really like replenish it. So I gave myself to the end of the year, but it's going to be like I have 2 goals for that. Like one to the end of the year, and then another for like the following year.
Okay, good. What I would recommend, especially for the year goals, is to then break it down to quarter.
Okay.
90 days is a much easier pace for us. A year is plenty of time for us to think, oh, here's 1 month gone by. I still have 11 more months. I still have 10 more months. And then we at the end of the year, because it does come quickly. I like to play 90-day games.
Okay, 2021. Okay, next year.
And that helps us pace ourselves and to keep us on track. And also it helps, I started to do this year, recognizing the slower times and the busier times too, right? You can start understanding, okay, what goals are realistic during which times of the year, right? The summer for me was very, very quiet this year, right? Now I'm getting extremely busy. So now I can understand and I can better plan out my year, my events, when I'm speaking, all those different things to be in front of the women during the right times and stuff. So it also helps in that regard too. Okay. And these goals, I want you guys to think about these goals every day, right? And it kind of comes into, what am I doing today to further myself to these goals? Okay. What could I be doing today to further myself? Okay. So where are you currently? So you can write down, and it could be your headspace right now. Yeah, I'm in the swamp. I'm in it. I don't know how to get out. It can be write down what your income is, what your savings are. As much as you can get down about where you are right now with your business, with your business savings, with your personal money, all of that. And also when you think about the business, where are you with, do you want to hire out people? So is it just you right now and you want to hire somebody? Do you have a few people on your team? Do you have a few resources that you use? You can think about it in that regard too. Are you doing a lot of stuff that you don't like doing in your business and you want to get to that point where you can not have to do that anymore? Exactly where are you? You guys have enough down?
Oh, yes, we're good.
You're good?
We're not really good, but
Yeah, how do you feel now looking at where are you right now?
horrible.
Yeah.
Why does it feel horrible?
I said hot mess.
And I wrote totally in the sand. Like I just buried my head.
Okay.
And that's just, as far as personal. I feel like, especially after doing this worksheet with my husband, and last night, Caitlin's like, I need a stiff drink.
Yeah. That I couldn't even have.
She's like, that was too hungover. She's like, that was so painful. You have no idea. I'm like, actually, I did. I just got done with mine. And so, like, even leaving it and like the blanks that we left. I sent you my worksheet just because, like, me.
Did you want us to? I can.
No, I just did. Just be like, I tried. And
No, send it over.
I'll send mine right now.
It left me feeling like, on a personal level, we are, as a collective unit, like not just me, we are a hot mess. Even though my husband's in finance and he does all this high-end bullshit, on a personal level, it's like, we're never gonna die. We don't need that. It's like that. Like we're like a bunch of 25-year-old assholes. So anyway, hot mess.
Jess, real quick, because I have lots of email addresses for you. I have like Strong Women, Stronger Assets. I have Jess.Weaver at Raymond James. I have J4and4 at Gmail.
There's a lot of emails. Do the Strong Woman.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. There's a reason for all the emails. I won't
I'm
get-
sure. I'm sure. I'm not questioning them. I just want to know which one you're doing.
I'm trying to work on that. That's my assistant's to-do list.
Oh, I'm not connecting to your internet.
But any investment related stuff, like if any of you guys, we started to work together, savings wise, retirement account wise, that all has to come through my Raymond James email, right? Because that gets monitored. My book stuff, speaking, all of that stuff is considered in my world an OBA, an outside business activity. So it has to be separate from Raymond James.
Got it.
Okay. So Jen, why do you say a hot mess?
I'm in my 40s now, and you would think that I'd have life insurance for myself. You would think I would know what our retirement plan is. It I just feel like, and the whole not having a will.
That was cool.
What?
Sorry, just sometimes technology is really cool. I was trying to sign into her Wi-Fi and she has it as a note in her phone. And as I was about to copy it in, the phone said, "Do you want to share this password with Caitlin?"
Oh,
And I just said yes. And then it just signed to my computer.
yes.
But if you remember, Jess, when we did our other program a couple weeks ago, whatever it was, our group thing,
Yes.
my main goal was to find awareness. And so guess what? Sometimes awareness hurts, and you have to start somewhere. So I'm glad. I feel like I'm a hot mess. Before I was head in the sand and just like, whatever, hearts and flowers. So I'm going through the pain. I'm doing this.
That's true. And I do have an assessment for everyone to take.
Yeah.
I do the same thing with my club members. It's a little different. It's more geared around retirement issues and stuff. And during my first club, I had them take it again at the end of the year. And they're like, we're so much more aware of these things. And that's the important step. Right? Once we become aware of it, and I don't know about for you, but for me and for a lot of women I work with, the scariest thing is when we're not aware. Like that unknown. We don't know how bad it is until we actually look at it and become aware of it.
And I think the shift is great. As ugly as it might be, at least from that awareness, we can find growth. So
exactly. Good. Okay. Now let's look at what do we want to be? Where would you like to be? And you can do like 1 year, 5 year, if you want to do 10 year, but kind of chunk it down that way. Like what would be a 1 year goal? 1 year goal for your business, income, savings, expenses, family planning, protection planning, that stuff you're talking about, Jen, with the insurance and will and stuff.
Protection,
right. The more we have that stuff handled, the more secure we feel.
That's your brain.
I don't even know how to pick a number for retirement.
Ooh.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Why not? Sounds good.
I asked the universe to start away.
I'm going to do my daughter to the universe and tell them that I'm going to have $1 million in 10 years for my retirement.
Yay.
Who wants to share?
I'll share, but I didn't really put anything for my business. I just kind of focused on the personal because that's kind of, I guess, where I'm going. I think that's like the first place I guess I need to start. And I had overall like how I want to feel after I reach, these goals, which is solid and secure. And I have my 3-month goal. I do want to be driving a new car. Even though my car's paid off, I do have to shift because it's a safety thing. So I'm putting out a fire with that one. Basically, it sucks. I'd love to drive a car that's over payments. In 3 to 6 months, I want to have my will. I want to have everything out on the table, and I know it's going to take that long working with my husband. So that's why I'm giving it that number. I mean, I would like, if it's me, if I'm doing it by myself, it'd be done tomorrow because I'm crazy. In 2 to 3 years, I would. Once I start things, it's like, watch out. In 2 to 3 years, I want to be in a new home. As lovely as this isn't really our home that we want. So that's a family goal.
Okay.
And then in 10 years, I think collectively as our family unit, both of us putting money in and saving that $1 million as opposed to me by myself, but having more responsibility to that and just be like, oh, Mike, you'll figure that out. Because I think without me sharing that responsibility, like he's never gonna do it. So
okay. You're the kick in the pants he needs and the reminders and stuff. Issue, and you bring up, well, we are going to talk about this. I think we might do it the third session, but especially since you're all business women on here, you need to think about your business when you think about your will too. What do you want to happen to your business if you're no longer here? Or, I'm just planting the seed for you to start thinking about this stuff too. If you can't make decisions, you get in a car accident, you're in a coma, something happens with your memory, right? Dementia and stuff. Or physically, you can't do your job anymore. What do you want to happen to your business? Okay. Just some things to think about because we put so much into these babies. What's going to happen if we're no longer here, or mentally we can't do it, or physically we can't do it? Right. It just got got really serious real quick and stuff.
Well, I think for me, it's like nothing would happen. It would die. Like I would, like, do you know what I mean? Like if I couldn't do it, no one.
That's why you write that book. The book will live on forever.
It's true. It's part of the reason I do want to write the book. That's when I figured out I wanted to write a book. Was my therapist was like, "What if you were gonna die?" Whatever. And I was like, "Ooh, I would write a book if I was gonna die."
That's what I write in my second book. I talk about legacy planning, and I say I have 2 books. I have my blog. I have all this content that I've kept somewhat organized. Organized enough. I'm like, my goal is somebody takes it and runs with it. They keep going with it and stuff. So yeah, the more, and also keep track of that's all your content, all the things that you're putting out on social media, you're speaking, all the services. The more you create that content and keep it, the better, right? The biggest asset people can have is content in the future. That's what they're saying. Okay. Our content can be our most valuable thing. Right.
Get on.
So that's what I know. Who else wants to share?
I put, go ahead, Amanda.
Oh,
Amanda.
okay. Sure. Well, I kind of cheated because Jessica and I did this already. So, so I have all my goals for first year, 5 year, and 10 years out. So it's a combination of personal and business.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously replenishing the personal savings account, and then paying off debt. That's a huge one for me. And also growing my team and hiring out for the things that I need help with. And that's just first year. So business and personal.
Okay, good. All right, Caitlin, what do you have?
Mine got back down to the feelings of how I want to feel, right? And so I want to feel more secure within 1 year, and then also more secure in my personal finance and in my marriage about finance, because I feel like that's like a really big rift. Yeah. But also I want to feel more confident about what I'm charging clients, right? So about like my income, my own personal salary, I want to feel more confident in when I'm increasing my prices and making more. I want to feel good about that, which, at this point it's not the case.
Okay.
And then I want to be doing within 3 years, I want to be saving for retirement and feeling like I have some plan, like that idea of like, I'm actually taking action and have a plan for retirement.
Okay, good. Good.
I just don't know what number to put down. I felt like 10,000 in 3 years and felt like
you could do better than that.
I know, but like, could I? I don't know. I've done 0 thus far.
Well,
so history would show.
You have to write it down. You have to write it down. When you have to write it down.
Okay.
And it's amazing. And it might not be exactly on your time frame of You said 3 years,
Yeah.
but it probably is going to be somewhere in that ballpark, right? And you have to write it down
Yeah.
whenever. It's amazing how much
The power
those
of
things come, to fruition. And the more you keep track of it, the more like, wow, that's cool. I wrote that down a year ago and I hit it now.
And the more you say stuff out loud and that kind of vibrates and you're saying it out loud and you're like, oh shit, now I really have to do it because I actually told that person that I'm going to do it. Oops.
It's a way to stay accountable.
Now I have to save $1 million for my retirement in 10 years. I told you guys. So.
Sorry, I just thought of a story, a really sad story, going back to the legacy planning, but one of my parents' neighbors, he passed away. He had cancer. He was in his late 60s. He had his own business. She had no idea anything about the business. She has no idea if he was in contracting. No idea what bills are left to get paid to her.
Oh.
No idea. Right. So we say hot mess, Jen. His business was a complete
She's a bigger hot mess. We should hang out.
complete mess. And then his wife, and she doesn't have much money, so she needed those invoices to get paid, but she had no idea how he sent them. It was all written down. So the more organized we are, the more secure our loved ones will be, down the road and stuff. But
what if your quote unquote loved one doesn't want you to have the access to that information?
You don't have to share. You just have to have it so that somebody knows where it is and that it's somewhat organized, right? Like I use Square.
It's in a vault.
But that's my point. Is like if something were to happen and I needed access to that information because I needed the money and I needed
Show me the password.
I wouldn't know I wouldn't even know how to get to all that information. It's all under like lock and key.
Yeah, no, same thing, because I handle most of the stuff for my marriage, and I have to write down the passwords. It's a pain in the butt because how often we have to change our passwords and stuff too. So like on my business plan, I have all my passwords, right? And I share that with my assistant, but I can always change it. Like if I change assistants or something, I can always change it, but I keep it on a Google Doc with my assistant so that she knows how to access things and stuff, right? So one thing is when you have to create a business plan, and that's a great place to put all the different websites, resources, apps, whatever you use, and how to gain access to them and stuff, okay? All right, cool. So one thing I want to say to you, my friends and I have my own accountability little tribe. One's another advisor right in the area, and another one is a money coach out in Vegas. And we have a saying, some will, some won't, so what, someone's waiting.
I never heard it before.
Really? One of the big news. It's probably you.
I was at her thing.
It's a really good one. Yeah, and my one actually got it framed for us, so we all have it in our office, and we stare at it. But this morning, because I was really excited for our call today, I was thinking about the women that I talked to about this program, and they were interested, timing wasn't right, whatever, they didn't want to do it. And then I have you 3 women plus the other 2, and what a perfect group this is. And I'm almost like, thank goodness that they didn't join in my mind. And I think back to all the times when I really wanted somebody to sign on, and then looking back, like they would have been a nightmare to deal with, or they would have been completely MIA, or they would have been so needy, like they just would have been a life sucker. So part of, when we go through this, where do you want to be, there's usually a reason for the timing of things and the path that we take and the people that come into our lives, right? With all 5 of you women, there's so much common ground, there's so much connection that can be made and ways that you can help each other, that it ended up working out so much better than having the people I initially thought I wanted in the program to join. But I'm sure you guys have seen that too, and you thought you wanted to work with somebody, and then like, oh no, I don't want to work with them. right? How many times? And then it's amazing. Once you shut the door on them, the door opens for somebody else too, right?
Yeah.
So that's when to go back to your thing, Caitlin, like the 3 years, write it down, but trust like the timing might be a little bit different than what we thought. But we have to write it down because it holds us accountable.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get into the emotional stability with money. All right. I want you on the left side to write down the negative times you've had with money, or the moments when you don't feel good about yourself because your bank account's at a low that you haven't seen, or your debt's higher, or you're spending too much, you're not making enough money, or maybe the times when you bring up money to your spouse and it causes a conflict or anger, or your spouse shuts down or you shut down.
Yeah,
Right?
it's mostly me shutting down.
Because sometimes that happens too. One of us shuts down.
Hmm.
And then we can't talk. You can't talk if somebody isn't going to communicate with you. Okay. And it can even be growing up too. Think about the times growing up where it was negative in your household around money. Your parents fighting about money, or your dad complaining about the bills, or your mom couponing because she's saying you're not going to have enough food for groceries. Maybe driving by a big house and your parents say, oh, they're so greedy. They have so much money.
Wow, I have a lot of negatives. Oh.
And next to each one, can you pinpoint the emotion with that? Is it anger, resentment, sadness, shame, guilt?
Resentment's my middle name, if you didn't know.
Caitlin, resentment. Okay. Like you go and you spend some money on yourself, and then you feel guilty. You feel shamed about it. Or you want more money in your world, and then am I being too greedy? I'm already blessed with this. Am I being too greedy to want more? Even going back to, what was your first memory of money? And was that memory positive or negative? My first memory of money was I would lock my room and my parents would bang on the door and say, if you don't open up, we're taking all your money. And I had this little tin in my closet where I stashed all my cash, and immediately I would open up the door. Immediately. And it says,
Parental note.
yeah.
That works. No,
It does work. But it also taught me that, and it really could go a few different ways, where maybe I hoard money because it can be taken away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Or the other side of, I'm going to spend it before it can get taken from me. I'm going to enjoy it before somebody else can come in and take it. Right. I think for me, it went to, if I worked hard for this money, I don't want it easily taken from me. Right. And I'll do anything to make sure it isn't taken from me. Even open the door when I don't want to.
Can you think of your earliest memory with money? Like, I feel like I have amnesia.
Yeah. So one of my earliest memories is my mom did all the bills, not well, like racked up the credit card bills, but my dad just kind of was infantile and was like, oh, whatever. And so we would leave all of our bags in the car until he wasn't home. And she'd be like, shh, we never went shopping. Shh. And I'm like,
same. My mom would do the same thing.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We would leave the
There's, like,
shopping
lies
bags in the back of the trunk.
and guilt. And I'm like, 3. So,
That's- I remember my mom and I would go shopping together, and it was like our bonding time, right? Our retail therapy. So for me, spending money was good, but then we would get home and we would leave the bags in the trunk, and my dad, he would know, he would yell. So then, like, okay, but spending money is a bad thing. So for the longest time, I was very bipolar with money. Spending money is good, no, spending money is really bad. And I would go through these waves of spending a lot, not spending anything, too. What about you, Amanda? What was your first memory?
I would say it would, like, can't have it because we can't afford it. Like, my mom would constantly say like, I can't get bread because we can't afford it. And I'm like, what do you mean we can't afford bread? Like, it's $5 for a loaf of bread. And then, or like, just never ever going on any vacations because my dad's like, we can't afford it. Or just like not doing things, or because it's always like, we don't have enough, always. Yeah. So now that I'm just looking at my adult life, just like the things that I wrote down, I'm carrying out those beliefs that I was ingrained in when I was a child. I have money, but now it's just like the way I'm looking at it now is like, I'm still in that scarcity mode, even though I have a business that's successful and I have clients, and I'm like I'm literally squirreling away money because I think it's not going to come again, or I'm going to lose it quickly.
Yes. So that's go back through your list and write down how many of those are still true. Exactly what you just said, Amanda. How many of them are you listening to what happened to your old self when you were growing up, or your young adulthood, or just things that we tell ourselves, right?
I mean, like, I could cross out this whole list pretty much.
Well, that's
exactly. Like, I feel guilty to get my nails done. Like, it's $30. Like, why do I feel bad spending $30 on myself? Like, come on.
Yeah. Like, if you say that you have a low month in sales, right? You're not selling a lot. You don't have a lot of income. Does that actually reflect your worth as a human being or business owner? No, but so many times we tie those two together.
Yeah.
Right. So look at how many of them aren't true, or maybe they were true growing up, but they're no longer true now, right? You're, like you said, you're in a different situation. Okay. Let's now go to the other side, the positive times with money. Okay. When do you feel really good about your money?
I don't know.
Like, I'm still on the other side, the other column.
When it comes in.
When you get paid, when you get a new client. I've been getting a lot of referrals all of a sudden. I'm like, wow, that feels really good. Because it's not just, me out there telling people, oh, you should work with me. Other people are thinking that. If I'm on other people's mind and they want to help the people in their world, right? And it doesn't translate directly into money, but at some point it will. If they, they keep moving along and stuff. So what are the positive times? You get paid, you get a new referral, you save, you have a new high with your income, or you enjoy, I think about you, Jen, you go on a family trip, right? You get to enjoy the money you worked so hard for, and then your husband's chirping in your ear. Oh, we spend too much.
Like literally every year since I've been married to the man, going into the summer, we're so good, we're good. And midsummer, oh my God, stop spending all our money. And I'm like, I didn't change anything that I've been doing. Like, are you doing something that I don't know about? And I actually wrote down, like, my positive times are after bonus season, right? Because his bonus, not my bonus, because that's where he gets like a majority of his salary. It comes in this bonus form, and he's like, oh, we're
Spin it
so
up.
great, bonus. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I don't like do anything excessive, but then like every year, in the middle of summer, it's like, oh my God, what are you doing?
You spent the whole bonus.
It's
Big
like,
shocker.
like, I was laughing at him last night. I'm like, but this is what happens. He's like laughing. He's like, I know. I'm sorry.
At least he can laugh about it. Christ. My husband accused me of having an ulterior motive
Oh, yeah.
with this whole thing. Yeah. He was like,
What are you planning?
3 times of us going through this worksheet, like 3 different points. He kept being like, what is this for again? Why are you doing this? And every time I would answer like the same kind of thing. I'm like, I signed up for this new program. It's a Money Empire program, whatever. And then he'd be like, I'm sorry, what is this program again? Like he could not. And then finally at the end, I'm like, oh my God, I got like really annoyed. I'm like, why do you keep asking? I'm just trying to get this information. How come you can't share this information with me? And he's like, 'cause I think you have an ulterior motive and,
Oh my gosh.
and you're lying to me. You're not telling me why you need this information.
It's a program. I don't know what to tell you.
So then after I like went and pulled up your last email that had like the budget worksheet like link or whatever, and I forwarded it to him. I'm like, because you think I'm lying, here you go. Here is proof of the fact that I'm actually in a program and I'm actually trying to figure shit out. I'm sure he thinks I'm like figuring out a divorce. Like I'm sure that is where his mind
Which might be
is
coming out.
Which might be this might be the prep work,
He didn't help at all. So
What's that?
He
he didn't help his case.
No.
By asking. But how many? So do your negative times outweigh your positive times?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Kind of.
kind of. Okay, so that needs that needs to change. That's what we want to start getting towards. And a lot of you said you like to bury your head in the sand, or you used to do that and stuff.
I think just because I feel like because I'm so like whatever, it'll come. Like it's an abundant world I live in, and look at me manifesting. And it's like there's such like a I don't know, like there's just like there's money, whatever, great. There's no money, all right, it'll come again. So it's like I feel like I need to attach more emotion to the good and the bad, I think, than what I've been doing. So I think this is a good exercise, but.
But do you agree with that, Jess? Like, I feel like there's something, and maybe this is my denial, but like to be able to not go crazy when there is money or freak out when there isn't is like a good place to be. It's
Right,
like
that's right into the stability between the two, the balance.
Yeah.
But Jen, to your point, and I was at the Chester Pod meeting last week, and with Sarah Walton. She had such a good point about manifesting. Like, it's great. I'm going to make $500,000 in my business one year. Okay, I'm going to make $500,000. This is great. But then you start taking the actions as if you are making that, right? You're not spending the money as if you have that money coming in, but you're taking action, right? That's the biggest piece. And I see a lot of people who are really into, and I love the law of attraction, right? I see it work too. But you have to have the action behind it. Right? You all are on the money action plan with the delusional Dans, right? Delusional Dan, I'm going to attract all this money because I'm going to spend it all, or I'm just welcoming it into my world. But how are you welcoming it into your world?
Well, this is how we're manifesting more money. We're here. We're showing up.
It's true.
I told him I'm master manifesting.
Yeah, we don't want, the negative times with money, that's where we go back into that fear mode, the scarcity mentality. That's not what we want. We want the positive times. We don't want our only highs in life to be tied to money, though. Like kind of what you were saying, Caitlin, right? Mm-hmm. I know with my work, the more value I give people, the more valued I feel, right? And the more confidence I feel. I probably get the most value out of doing what I do for women versus any other areas in my life. Good and bad thing, because I also get very consumed with my work, and my worth is very tied to my work, right? So we do need to differentiate, our worth as a business person, our identity as a business person, and our identity as just being a human being, and what our worth is as a human being. Does that make sense? Are you with me? And I'm thinking about this because I had the retirement event last night, and you have your whole working career, your identity is so addressed to whether you're even a stay-at-home mom or a working mom, an entrepreneur, that's been your identity for the last 30, 40, 50 years. Now you retire and you show up to a party and you're like, oh, my name's Jessica Weaver. And you're like, I don't know, what do I say after that? If you ask, what do you do? It's like, well, I'm retired. I used to do this. But you kind of are floundering because you don't know what your identity is, what your purpose is in life, right? So the sooner we can differentiate our worth as a business owner and our worth as just a human being, or as a woman, as a mom, as a wife, the easier it is to become more stable with the highs and lows of our business, right? Because that's not going to carry over into family life. I have one client and her ex-husband he's not a financial advisor, but he was in the investment world. And she would always say to me, how are you so not neutral, but not so up and down with how the markets are? If the markets are down, he would come home and the whole family knew it. He would take it out on the whole family, right? He carried that home, the emotions, the anger, and stuff. The markets are up. He's on this great high. Everything's great. Let's spend money. So he was very tied to what was going on with work. And it's kind of a line that we need to start to draw in the sand for our own sanity, and also to smooth out the highs and lows of our career, of our income, and of our money. Okay, you with me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So next one is we're starting to do the money math. Okay, how much does your service or product cost? Okay, write down, and there's plenty of room, so write down the amount that you want it to cost and the amount that it currently costs. Okay, kind of going into what you were saying before, Caitlin, feeling confident about the money that you're charging people.
But what if you, like, similar to you, have different packages and different rates and different services? Like, you write down all of them?
Write down what you can do, your ideal or your average. Like, do you have a high and a low program?
Mm-hmm.
What do you usually sell more of, the high or the low? And ideally, what would work better for your clients, the high or the low? Usually the high, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's interesting, like, so my two main programs, I actually end up making almost the same amount of money for the time put into it, if that makes sense.
Because your low program is so much less time.
Yes.
So it almost works out to the same hourly rate.
It's more leverage time, if that makes sense. And it's a shorter condensed period of time too.
All your services.
So instead of a year, it's 3-4 months. Right? So you can also view it that way, or start to move in that direction where you have your high and your low, but the low, in the end, you'll be able to make it just as much money as selling one high and using the same amount of time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So how much is it currently? How much do you want it to be? And how much of a gap is there? Like, what is a jump?
Like double.
Double? If it's double, and do you have a breakdown of all the, sorry, I'm going to stop sharing this. Can you see me when I'm sharing or no?
Yes, we can see you in a
okay.
small window when you're sharing.
You break down all the things that they get with, let's say, your top tier program. They get all the things that it breaks it down to, like all the services they get, all the extras, the resources, that type of stuff.
Do I break it down for them?
Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Think about ways that you can add to that list so that you can show the double in value. And especially ways that doesn't take up a lot of your time or more of your time. And it could even be, like, one example is in my Strong Retirement Club, I've partnered with a health and fitness coach. So they get an hour strategy session with her, and I push her out her fee from what I charge the club member. Okay, so she's like a strategic partner. So they get extra value, but it doesn't take any more of my time.
Sorry, brainstorming a little bit about like strategic partners and like
Collaborating.
well, yeah, I mean, if she's helping them push the baby out, right?
So,
Then-
but
I see what you're doing.
I already say, like, if in my postpartum visit, like, you're going to take this class with Caitlin Chiari.
Yes.
But in the prenatal package, saying like
private,
you're going to get a
45-minute private, you know, because
Oh,
that would
yeah.
help long term. Like they would get the information and help that they need during pregnancy.
and I want them
also
to be
develop the
healthy because
relationship
it's just better for
for their
everything.
birth.
Actually, I was just with my good friend who's a new grandma. She's very excited. She's had 5 of her own kids, so she kind of knows what she's doing. And her daughter's being very stubborn and not listening to her. And she goes, "Your child is lactose intolerant." She's like, "No, he's not. He's too young. He was just born." And she's like,
Just
"These are the
born?
signs.
Oh, born. Okay.
Yeah, these are the signs. Your mom's lactose intolerant. 2 of your brothers are lactose intolerant. Your grandmother's lactose intolerant. There's a high likelihood." And so, but instead of it coming from the grandmother, right, it comes from an expert like Caitlin.
Right.
Like just knowing you can go and talk to, because we all run into these different issues feeding our babies.
Oh, totally.
Right
And
away.
to your point that like even if we know the answer, we don't believe it until an expert tells
That's
us.
right.
Yes. You need somebody outside of our brain. Yeah. So you guys would be good strategic partners. Something like a massage for you, Jen, you probably have, right? What about for you, Amanda? Who would be good people?
Well, I work with a home stager.
Mm-hmm.
I guess a realtor.
Realtor. Yep.
Oh my gosh, a home organizer.
Yes.
I know a lot of those, by the way.
Oh, that would be very good.
Yes, I met Laura from Big.
Laura Bostrom? No.
Yes.
She's not in Big anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, but she's great and she's a good friend of mine. And her and I have actually collaborated and taught workshops together in the past. It was amazing, and I really do like her. So, I mean,
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
big
Yeah.
part of this is not a big, you know, just because we're all in Big doesn't mean this Money Empire program is through Big. So we can
Yeah.
but I'm not a member of Big anymore. She's still awesome, and I think collaborating with her is a really great idea.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
a very good one. Even for this program, and I don't think I told you yet, Amanda. So we have 2 other professionals who are going to do like 20, 30-minute Zoom calls with us. One's an accountant, right? Because a big piece of making sure our money's set is that we're setting aside enough for taxes,
Mm-hmm.
being tax efficient with our money. You're about to buy a house. Another woman in the program is about to buy a house. Those things, we think about taxes. And also a woman who, she's my business coach's right-hand woman, who does all the systems. She streamlines things, how to leverage your time, utilizing different resources, and especially when you're about to hire somebody,
Mm-hmm.
what you need to get done so you do it properly. And also make sure if that person doesn't work out, it's very easy to bring somebody else in new and not have to retrain everything.
Yeah.
So I figured 4 of you are in business, the ones thinking about opening up her own business. Those are 2 really good resources to have. I know the accountant, she offers my club members a consultation. She'll do the same for you guys too. And Ashley would do a discovery call with all of you, right?
I have a quick question.
Mhm.
This is, you know, probably something I need to figure out outside of like this program, but I just want to say, in running the numbers like this, right? If I put, and I'm only put the average, right? I didn't put like, I'm just doing my average rate, not what my higher package is or what my lower package is, but just
Okay.
my average rate. And if I just looked at that average rate and pretended like every client paid my average rate, I would currently need 16 new clients a month to hit the salary goal.
Okay, so it's
That's
the
like-
money math.
Right. That's like impossible logistically to have 16 new clients a month.
It's not. If you jump inside my brain, I'll tell you. You can do
Okay.
it.
Okay. Unless I start taking a page out of your book too with like a group, because like I can't see.
Well, and then you have a mid-range where it's just all virtual, and it's like you have the created the class, and they have to pay like what? So you like have more of these little pieces, but you're not actually doing anything because you have this class that's like they can purchase virtually.
What you can
Even
do,
with-
what
when-
Jen is saying is, you do something similar to so you do the one-on-one, and then you can create something group setting like what I'm doing based on what you do one-on-one. As a mom of a young kid, I like the idea of a group setting because I want to be able to relate with the other moms who are struggling with the same stuff I am. So I know I'm not the only bad mom out there.
There's no such thing as a bad mom.
Thank you. And then you can take that content and you make a course. Right? So you don't have to all of a sudden have this course out of nothing.
The courses though, but I just feel like the courses, so someone pays, like the courses are like $20 or $30, right? And then to make them like good enough that like lots of people buy your course versus like the other courses on the internet that are, you know, the same or less priced and way better than yours. And not to get into that whole like worth, like mine is no good, but like I know that at this time in my life, I do not have the resources or desire to make a fucking amazing course. Like I could probably get a course together, but it wouldn't be like bells and whistles and pretty and so fancy and like high tech and like all the things. Because I feel like that's a lot of work. I don't even have the time to do that. I've been saying since last summer I was going to make an online course. Last summer. So here we are, a whole year later.
After your book comes out, you'll do it.
Exactly. Like these are. So my point is like, yes, I agree. Passive income where I need to do nothing and someone's buying like sounds great. One day, hopefully, I fucking get there. But for right now, I can't get there because I'm trying to see 16 clients a month.
Yeah.
And when I double the rate, obviously that's 8 clients a month, which is way more feasible. That's only 2 clients a week, 2 new clients a week. I can totally hit that. But can I hit that at the double my rate?
Why not?
Sounds like impossible.
Got a lot of fears going on there.
Yeah, right?
Okay,
Like, ooh.
let's backtrack a little bit. Okay.
I'm like diarrhea.
You just brain dumped a little bit, and that's good. Okay, so I would say almost every business coach is pushing the online courses.
Yeah.
Every coach has an online course. That scares me. If everyone's doing it, I'm going to do the opposite. Okay. I don't know. It's just me. I need to have the personal connection with people. I just don't want to put myself out there because one, there's no accountability on their side.
Right.
People can take your course and have no results because they didn't do any of the work and then
Right,
say
exactly.
your
And then-
course sucked because
Yes, 1,000%. I
so
always
there is a liability. There's a liability.
Yep.
But there is a way that you can combine virtual stuff that doesn't take your time with your one-on-one time or in a group setting too.
Mhm.
Okay. But don't feel like you need to have this huge, amazing online course all of a sudden. Piece it together. You have your one-on-ones and then you're going to start do group sessions. Okay. And then you're going to have a support group when they are past the group sessions. You can have continuous help where you meet once a quarter to check in and make sure your kid's on track or whatever it is. And then you can take that stuff and just keep everything really organized, right? All the things, all the tricks, all the services. And at some point you can have online classes for them, okay? You don't have to go from one-on-one to online program overnight because all the business coaches are telling you to do that. And all the life coaches have that.
Someone telling you to do that.
Like, you should start do that.
Yeah.
I've been getting emails nonstop from, I don't know who someone got my email information. You need to have an online course for Time to Refine. You need to have an online course. Can I create an online course for you? I'm like, no, I don't want to be. Oh, I think it also kind of differentiates you a little bit if you're just going to have these online things. I think it like downgrades your credibility a little bit.
But also like, yeah, your credibility and like, I don't really like, I do what I do because I enjoy like connecting with people, helping them through the situation and seeing their results and rewards, right? Like, so an online course is like, I don't even know who the fuck is buying it.
Yes.
I don't know if they're actually even doing it or taking the course. I don't know what kind of results they're getting. Like none of the things that are like important to me are actually happening.
Yeah. So it might not be the right model for your business.
Right. Whereas I'd much rather teach a workshop
Mhm.
at like some corporation, right? For like a corporate wellness, and have 50 people in the room. And I don't know those 50 people personally, and I don't know if they're going to like make the change, but at least there was like some in-person energy connection. And that makes me feel good. Does that make sense? Like online, it's like, you don't know anything. What's the whole point? It's just a way to like make money. I don't know. Like it almost is like I haven't gotten started because it's like doesn't at all feed my soul.
This is what I would say, and I'm drawing something. This is a good exercise. Okay, so you can like break it down into quadrants and stuff too. Okay. Do you guys see this? This
Can you
is
make
an upside down triangle?
Stop sharing your screen so that'll be like real big for a sec.
Pizza.
There you go.
Oh, much better.
Okay. So we'll do my business, okay? So down here is free is a discovery call. Okay? That's my low hanging offer.
Discovery call. Got it.
Discovery call. 20 minutes. Right, Jen? We talked about this before where you're not going to spend so much time with people. You're going to get to the root of what they're after, if you can help them or not, or you need to pass them on to somebody who can. Right? That's my low offer. Then let's say it's one of my books, right, which is $15, right? That's my next thing. Okay. And I'm going to get people who love what I do. They get all my books. They come to my events, and that's as far as it goes. And that's fine. Those are my fans. They're still there. They're still talking about me and stuff. Next up would be my strategy session or my money action plan, right? So one-on-one or my money action plan, which is basically a strategy session, but it's group setting and it's a more structured time together. Like this. Okay? Now, you don't have to have all of these things, but understand, like, you're going to have different ways for people to come into your life, and start thinking about what are the offers you can give people who are they're in a different place of, I'm all in, I want to try you out for a little bit. I need some help, but I already have, like, I get women, I already have an advisor, but I need the planning. All right. Then next I have this program, right? My Money Empire. Or my club, right? Okay. And then I have my one-on-one clients, right?
So strategy session is different than your one-on-one clients in that it's a one and done.
Yes, it's just a one-time thing, and it's kind of like what I was in my emails. I'm like, okay, let's date. You know, I want to see how you are. You want to see how I am, but I'm gonna give you some deliverables to show. You know, I know what I'm talking about. I can help you if we're a right fit, and you actually walk away with some things that you can implement right away. It's not just a consultation. I'm actually going to give you some stuff. I'm not going to give you everything, right? And I can't give you everything because then it's like you're drinking from a fire hose. Like, yeah. I have too many things to do. I'm not going to implement anything, right? But it's a paid
trying you on, like almost like instead of a pack. So right now I only offer packages because I felt like before when I was offering like per session, there was a fee per session. People would like do 1 or 2 sessions and then get too busy to like follow up for their third session. The same way we all do, right? Like I have a 3-session massage package. I've only used 2. That third one has been like almost a year now without me using it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like if you buy the package as the provider, you're like, well, even if they don't use that third session, they've paid for that third session, which might get them to book it or might not, but at least it's paid for, right? So I dropped the option to have those, like what you're just describing, like a strategy, like a private one.
A one-time thing. At the end of the strategy session, we're going to know if you're going to go into my Money Empire program, into my club, and then from there, they can become a one-on-one client. Okay? So it's not like I offer multiple strategy sessions.
Got it.
It's not like an a la carte. Oh, I'll take 5 strategy sessions. There's no.
Yeah, they would be in that next tier. They wouldn't.
Yeah, yeah, it would make more. And use the packages. It makes more sense for them to do a package than to do multiple strategy sessions from a pricing standpoint. That makes sense.
Say it one more time.
it'll be cheaper for them to do a package than to do multiple strategy sessions from a price point.
So, okay.
So they don't want to ever come back to a strategy session because they're going to pay more per hour of your time. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And so, but you can kind of think about, what are my low offers to people to get them in the door? Maybe it is just an hour webinar to get to know you, Caitlin. Something simple. And they pay $10 for it. You know, instead of a book, you have a webinar that you're going to give them 3 tricks, 3 tips that will work with almost any kid, or to help with the parents. And you can focus with parents, kids, whatever. After that, what would be their next step? And then is that they can just do a quick 15-minute call with you, or is it an hour-long strategy session for $125?
Right.
You know, same thing for you, Amanda. It's like, okay, what's going to get them in the door? What's something low, like the low-hanging fruit that they can get from you? And then you can keep moving them.
Right. Because I just made my pyramid when you were, so I do have like the intro call. The next would be booking a consultation. And then from there, it could be either the virtual package, a 1-day makeover, or if they don't want to do any of the work and want me to hire me for the whole thing, then it's the full service package.
There you go. Yeah. So you want, you know, your basic, your medium, and your high. Right?
Yeah.
And it helps, like, okay, your funnel, right? Okay. Here's a call. Then we move up to strategy session. And then they go into the Money Empire program. Then they become a one-on-one client. But you need to know where you're pushing them each step of the way. And you can't just like, oh, you know, sometimes I do this and sometimes it works out that way. I'll leave it up to you. Like, they need to know where you're pushing them. We used to meet with clients and it's kind of like, you don't sell. You just try to really help them, and maybe they'll like you enough to ask if they can work with you. How well do you think that worked? Not well. You need to drive them somewhere.
Yeah.
You do, because otherwise they just get kind of confused and lost in the message. They don't know. And I'll tell you, I won't, even if I really need somebody's service, if they're not a good seller, I won't buy from them. I think the better you get at selling, the more you start to notice when other people are very good at it, when they aren't, and how, like, I want to be aligned with other women who are very good at what they do, very good at promoting what they do, marketing themselves, because I'll learn a lot. And 2, I know that they're going to be able to help me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So yeah,
just a quick second break to go to the bathroom.
Yep. Go ahead. Okay. So then the money math, right? How much do you need to sell to hit your monthly goals, your annual goals, your 90-day goals? Okay. So if you make $1,000 and you want a product, you want to make $5,000 a month, that you have to sell 5 to 5 people. And then it also goes back to, how many people do I need to get in front of to get 5 people to want to work with me? So if I talk to 20 people, 10 of them get, on average, 10 of them, so half of them are curious enough to book a call with me. From the call, 50% will then commit to work with me. Right? And I was thinking about this coming in today's call. Just for the Money Empire program, I talked to, I think it was 10 women, and 5 committed. So my conversion ratio was 50%. So now I know going into the next program, which will be in the spring, I need to get in front of at least 10 women who have already booked a strategy session or a money action plan. Right? From there, I can get about 50% to join. Okay. So then it goes back to, we talk about the manifestation, Jen?
Yeah.
The actions behind it, right?
Right.
I'm manifesting $10,000. If I get in front of 10 women, 5 will commit for me to be their doula.
Right.
And then that will keep me on.
I usually like 10 prospects a month equals like at least. Because I think my closing rate's even a little bit higher than that, but like just to be safe, you know?
Yeah. Good. So that's where we go to the money math, and that will help us figure out what steps do we need to do, what actions do we need to do to get there and stuff. Okay, good. All right, the last few sheets are going to be about our income and saving stability. Okay, so Jen, you can write down, and I know because you have your doula business, you have your wellness center, the ways that you earn income, and then what is the average dollar amount for each of those services? So we can give a percentage of, like I know strategy sessions bring X amount of money each month on average. That's what percentage of my overall monthly income, right? And it also helps, okay, well, if I'm putting all this time and energy into this one thing and it's only 10% of my income, maybe that's where I cut so that I can have more clients giving birth, right? So write down the different ways you earn income. And for Kristen, even though she's not on this, she only gets paid 10 months of the year. In the summer, she has another side business. But her, she needs to have a cushion for the months she isn't paid, because even though she has a side business, it doesn't earn as much money in the summertime. Okay. So Caitlin, here we're going to break down the ways we earn income.
Mm-hmm.
What is the average each month for those different income streams?
And then you'd have to be paying attention to know that.
And then we're going to figure out what percentage of my income is coming from where.
Today we're doing that, like right at this moment, we're going to have like.
Write down your income sources.
That
Okay.
I can.
If you have an idea of the amount you get each month on average from all of them, you can write that down.
Right. I mean, like it varies, right?
Mm-hmm.
The range or the average?
You can do either or both. And this is also a good check-in thing to do. You know, every month or every quarter when you go through your quarterly goals. Where did my income come from this month? How is it different from the month before? What did I do differently to get more money from one-on-one clients than the group's classes? And then one of your action steps, which is a last sheet of paper, can be figuring out the percentage of how much income on average do you make from each service, and then what is that percentage of your overall income?
This is why I don't like doing this stuff, because I feel like you have to like face the music and be like, this is pathetic.
Is this helpful though?
In the way that you have to be aware to make change, yes.
And then you can start to think of, are there more efficient ways or sources of income to replace some of the ones that I'm putting too much time into, or to add extra income if I want to down the road. Whether you, like Amanda, you hire another designer and then you get a percentage of what she makes too, right? Or Caitlin, you add your online program. Go back to it. And then that's a new income stream, right? Or Jen, you have more doulas. You have a team of doulas, Wonder Woman doulas, and you get a percentage, but they.
That's like such a headache. I mean.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna have to find another way.
Okay.
Because I just can't.
What, hire somebody?
Not to hire. I mean, the whole like doula agency thing. People become really crazy to like start these things. Like I'm even witnessing it now. The person who I trained under, she's like getting more money, like me.
Okay.
Anyway, so anyway, find a different way to or come up with a collaborative, something like that's different and not where I'm gonna go crazy. Anyway, that's my story.
Well, pause for a second, and this might be out of turn, but my doula offered like had an option for like a postpartum doula packaging too. Is there any interest in that? Could that be like a higher package offering?
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, do you really need to, I don't know, is there really a training for that? You've raised 3 fucking kids, so.
Yes, lactation.
Yeah.
Not
Sure,
that I can't help people, but I'd like to obviously
that's
be.
true.
Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
thank you.
Okay, good. Okay. The next one is where we start to give our money some structure. We start to break down our buckets. Okay. So think about bucket 1 is going to be our cash flow bucket. It's always going to be where the money gets deposited and our bills get paid. Okay. And this is just for your business. So for Kristen, when you're watching this, you can fast forward a little bit, or you can get some background for if you want to create your own business. But bucket 1's always going to be cash flow. So you can just write cash flow right down next to that. Okay.
The first one?
The first one on build your savings for your business.
Mm-hmm.
The first bucket's going to be cash flow. So that's where all your invoices get paid and your bills get paid from. Any monthly expenses you have, any designation renewals you have to pay, membership for BIG. Do you guys have to pay as pod leaders? No. Okay. I was going to say, I hope not. The second bucket. My second bucket is my tax bucket. I recommend doing this. You don't have to do this. I recommend doing it. And every invoice, everything that gets paid, I put 25% into my tax bucket. Okay. Because then I know when I pay quarterly taxes, when tax time comes, I have money set aside for it. It's not quite as, it's still painful, but it's not quite as painful as taking from my whole overall bucket and seeing that amount drop. Okay. So it's kind of like, all right, out of sight, out of mind. It's just every time I'm shuffling money into that. You can use.
You pay more than 25% of what you make on taxes?
What did you say? Sorry.
Aren't you taxed more than 25% of your income?
Well, I get paid a few different ways. So you can even look back to what tax bracket was I at last year, and how did you file with your spouse or separately too, and get a percentage. So it could be 10%, 15, 20, 25%. I would go more conservative. You can even do 30%, but do somewhere between 20, 25%. And then you'll know next year, did I owe more than that or less than that? And you can adjust.
Got it.
Each time. But it's always nicer to have extra money than to have to dip in elsewhere. So bucket 2 can be your tax bucket. That's what I do. Okay. And these are some ideas for you. And it comes back to, what are your goals for your business? Is it to hire somebody? Is it to write a book? Is it to get more marketing or advertisement out there and stuff? But I have a bucket that's investment. It doesn't mean it's invested. It means this bucket of money is money that I'm going to reinvest into my company. Okay. So I hired a PR woman for Pink Fix Day, right? That's where that money came from. It's kind of more those big one-off expenses. A business coach, there's a Money Empire program. Okay. And I put, and you can start small. You can start with a few percent, right? 5% of any income that comes in, I put into my investment bucket. I right now do 15% goes into my investment bucket. I would say start around 3 to 5%. Okay. Is there
Okay, angels.
oh what's it called? You guys look like you're about to go up to heaven.
Manifesting
Yes, the money will come down.
In beams of light. Yeah. So start small and then you can always keep increasing it. But we want to first make sure that you have enough for cash flow before we rob all your money and put in these buckets. Okay. I like doing that because if an opportunity comes up, I don't want to, I really want to do it. I know it will help me, but I don't have the money for it. I'm picking it from other places. And then I feel like I'm taking it from my family money or I'm taking it from here. Now I have it set aside so when I do want to hire somebody, I can do it. When I want to work with a business coach, I can do it. Right? I've already worked towards it and I'm actively working towards it. Okay. Another bucket, and I remember you, Caitlin, talking about you like to get a hotel room every once in a while, like a sanity night away from the kids and stuff. Mm-hmm. I call my profit bucket. Right? Has anybody read Profit First?
Nope.
It's an amazing book. It's very good. And this is very similar to Mike Michalowicz's idea of Profit First, but it's saying put money into an account. You can take it out monthly, quarterly, or for the year. I do it quarterly, where you get to treat it on yourself. You can treat it on your family. You can go on a family trip, or you can go to a hotel room, Caitlin. Mm-hmm. But the notion is each time you get paid, you put a little percent into your profit money. Okay. And this should be on top of paying yourself, right? But if you're nervous to start paying yourself, you can start here and put a few percentage, maybe 5% into your profit account. And then when you get on roll, okay, now I'm going to pay myself 10% each month of my income, or 20%.
Right, profit bucket. All right. Okay. What do you think? Like 5%?
Start with 5%. Okay. And then the bucket 5 is going to be retirement. Bucket 5 should be retirement. Okay. And retirement, we can start, and this is something we can talk about during our one-on-one sessions or outside of this, how, when, where do I set this up? I want to get this going. I have a little bit set up, or I don't have anything set up. How do I do it? How do I invest it? I just had a call with a woman yesterday, and she goes, everyone tells you to invest, but they don't tell you how do you go about it. What do you do? What do you look for? What are the risks? How much money do I need to have to invest and stuff?
My husband just asked me the other day because I had said I was going to start saving for retirement. Threw it out there like that. And he was like, oh, yeah, how's your 401k doing? And I was like, are you kidding? My 401k from over 7 years ago when I used to work at the hospital. Like, I don't know I don't even know where it is. I don't know how to find out how it's doing. I have zero
first of all,
idea.
It's in your maiden name and it's going to stay there until you get some kind of like your marriage certificate. Like I have something too from one of the, it's like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be, go to the last page real quick, Caitlin. And under one, you're going to say, find where my old 401k is.
Like, it's really annoying. Like the proof I need to get that like I got married and like, it's annoying.
Yeah. If you change your address, if they have something wrong, you need to send them proof and it's a pain in the butt. But we can get it done.
Link to your social. Shouldn't there be a place in which I can go on?
Should. No.
Yes.
Well, I worked for the government, so I kind of feel like it should be easier to find because it was, I don't know, through the government.
No, they're usually, they're a pain in the butt. It's probably a 403B. That's a 401k in the nonprofit world and for the state.
Yeah.
In the government. Do you get any statements from it? No.
That's where it's going.
But I had all my address like forwarded and everything.
Do you have any old statements? Where can we start on this hunt for money?
Like finding treasure.
I was gonna. Do you know? Was it like AXA, Lincoln, TIA, Kraft?
Can you call the company that you worked for? Like, are they still in existence?
Yeah, I worked for the VA hospital, but it's such like a huge.
You just call the human resource department.
Okay, call human resource.
Call, yeah. See if you
I
can
know how to call too.
HR.
Okay, so call HR and basically say I used to be an employee and I'm
looking for my 403B.
Yeah.
I stopped getting statements.
okay.
Just, I moved, I got married. What do I got to do?
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
But there are a lot of different options for business owners for retirement accounts. Okay, so we want to set the one up that's going to work best for you, your life, where you are. In regards to retirement too, how much money do you want to be setting aside, or can we be setting aside and stuff, okay? But 5 is going to be retirement. Okay?
Okay.
Cool.
And we should just pick an amount right now, like,
Put a dollar amount, just to hold it, whether it's $50 a month, $100 a month, $500 a month, put something so that we start setting that money aside.
That's fine.
Okay.
For me.
And
I've done for 7 years I've done nothing, so I feel like I have to start heavy because like I got some time to make up for here.
Yeah. And then during our strategy sessions, or Amanda, because I know you sent it to me, we'll have a call to talk about what to do with that money and how to get it going again. Sound good?
Cool. Thank you.
Cool. Next is the same thing, but for our personal life. Okay.
Way harder.
So 5 can still be retirement. Like 5 can still be retirement. But think about, one of the things I tell people is we can have 2 different cash flow accounts, right? One cash flow account for fixed expenses and one's for miscellaneous expenses. So at least we know our overhead, our mortgage, our rent, bills, utilities, that stuff's taken care of. This is what's left for the kids. This is what's left for vacations, going out to do all these other things. Okay.
This feels hard because, like if this cash flow, like setting aside money, like I don't know how much I should be setting aside from my income for these family things. Does that make sense? Like,
yes.
Like the taxes, for example, like the taxes that we have to pay on our house, property taxes. Should I be paying a portion of that? I don't want to pay that. And like, well, I know this is probably deeper than we need to go and whatever we can pull out of this, but like my husband bought the house with his money.
Okay.
So why would I pay the taxes on it?
It's just in his name?
Mm-hmm. You're not on the deed?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that like
you
lovely?
You have to learn paying taxes on that.
Lovely.
Caitlin, do you put any money into a bank account and then the mortgage gets paid from that bank account?
There is no mortgage and no.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You said it's all paid off. Okay.
But part of me is like, and this is probably a question for Sandra Fava.
Yeah.
Do you know who she is?
I'm actually meeting with her next Thursday.
Awesome.
Yeah, Tara just introduced us together.
Yeah, she's amazing, and I probably should ask her that question. But like, does paying some of my income towards the taxes, the property taxes on the house, therefore give me any leverage over the house?
It would if you're paying the mortgage, because once all that money gets mixed together, they can't really say, oh, well, you put 5% into that, so you have 5% equity, right?
Right.
Property taxes are different because it's not equity, the house equity.
Right.
And stuff. That would be a good question for her.
I guess just in general, to like back out of the detail, but just to say like, how does one even begin to determine, like for personal, when you're married and like you've therefore been contributing like nothing towards some of these fixed expenses, how do I determine?
Okay, I would say keep most of your money in your business name.
Okay.
In your business bank accounts. And you can set up a personal, just in your name, Caitlin, bank account. Okay.
Separate from my business accounts you're talking about.
Yes. And separate from, is it?
I already have that. Yeah, I already have a private checking and savings. I don't take any money out of my private checking and savings to put into a joint that then would pay for things like the taxes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would keep it that way until you talk with Sandra. Okay. For everybody else, no, yours is a certain situation that we need to make sure that we do it properly so that it doesn't mess up other things.
Right.
Yeah, you want to keep growing your savings. Like I have one woman, she's going through a divorce, and she wanted to take money that was inherited to pay off marital debt. I was like, why are you going to take your own money, individual money, to pay off joint debt? Your husband's not doing the same thing, right? And like, you're really just screwing yourself post the divorce, right? Because then they're probably going to separate the debt, and she'll have whatever piece of her own to pay off. Like, that doesn't make sense to do, right? So that's kind of the lines that we're thinking of. We want to make sure it's done properly, you don't screw anything over.
Right. But now it just sits. I feel like my money just sits in the bank in both accounts. I have a business account sitting with a bunch of money and a private account sitting with a bunch of money, and it just sits. So, I mean, I will definitely bucket out these 5 things and try to like start making use of it. But
you can still start with the business, and then thinking, okay, if you were to go through with the divorce, post the divorce, how do you want your money going for you? Right? You have a bucket where alimony and child support come, a bucket where you have your, I don't know, family vacation, because you still want to be able to bring your family on a trip.
Right.
You save into that, right? And that would be for you too, Jen. You can have one of these buckets could be the summer fund, so that if your husband says anything like, guess what?
I have a summer fund.
I have a summer fund and a trip fund, and you can't say anything about it. I'm going to enjoy every last bit of it.
Summer fund. Where'd I put that?
I put it at 3. Family vacation, summer fund, 3.
My FU account.
Amanda, for you, one could be a house fund.
Yep.
Right? Down payment for a house. Same thing for you, Caitlin. At some point, you might want to have your own place.
Yeah.
Right? And that could be one of the savings things. I know Kristen, she's looking to save a house. Hillary just bought a house, so she might have a fund for any renovations or repairs. Right? That's a good one to have. Just the house, car, emergency fund if something were to happen.
I actually use Capital One, and they have the best like savings setup, and you can set goals through Capital One, and it's like reach your goals quicker, and it's like you can set up automatic withdrawal if you want, and even like has a chart, because if you set a timeline or a date that you want to achieve your goal, it's like here you are in the progress scale. So I actually did set one up for my house, and I have it automatically, setting, like taking out of my account. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's cool. So you guys can look into Capital One.
I love it. It kind of made the whole saving thing fun, because I'm like, oh, I'm going up on the chart now.
Yeah, it becomes a game.
Yeah.
It becomes more positive reinforcement and more doable. And you could almost break these down by your goals too. Like, what are the 5 main goals that you want for your life? Retirement, maybe it's a new house, go on a trip every year, get a divorce, move forward. I'm sure Hillary should
I should get written down.
Okay.
I used to write, when I was going through my stuff, DIA, ducks in a row. DIAR, ducks in a row. Yes, thank you. DIAR.
There you go. Get your ducks in a row. Okay. So that's a good way. So start to think about what are the buckets you want to do, and then during our one-on-one time together, we can actually get the ball rolling, get you invested, get it moving for you and stuff, okay? But for the business, you can set up, we'll go to the next sheet, because this brings up what are your next steps, okay? One of your steps could be, I know, Caitlin, you already have your first step, figure out your 403B, okay? But a step could be to go to the bank or go on Capital One and break out a few different bank accounts for your business so that you can start saving a percentage from your invoices. Okay? Another action step, going back to when we were doing the streams of income, you can do the analysis to see what percentage of my total income is each stream bringing me. Okay, that could be a good step for you to do. A step could just be to look at last month's income. Where did it come from? Another one could be to set your 90-day goals, right? Just write them down. That's all you have to do. Okay. So you really could have, from now until the next time we meet, you could almost do one goal, one takeaway each week, right? And how much time is one going to actually take you? Probably under an hour. Like, can you do 1 hour each week, 30 minutes each week to start knocking these things off? And what we're going to do, and I got everybody in the chat except for who wasn't on WhatsApp. Let me see. Oh, Amanda, are you on? Do you have WhatsApp?
No,
Okay.
but I can get it.
They download it and I can add you to our group chat. What we're going to do is,
Can you guys see us?
yeah,
Like,
we see the sunbeam, the ray of light.
sorry.
That's a good omen.
The universe is really trying to help us.
Shine down.
Oh my gosh. Okay. What we're going to do is on Mondays, put into the chat what's our action for the week.
Okay.
Very easy. It'll take maybe 20 seconds. Right, Monday. And Friday, it's going to be a celebration, whether we did our to-do list or we got a new client, we have a new monthly high for income. I hired somebody, you know, something to celebrate. It can be personal, business, but something that from this course or from your money, your income, you were able to do for your life. Okay. And we can start this Friday with a quick check-in.
So Fridays are like, what's the high?
Mm-hmm.
Mondays are, what are we doing? What's
Yeah,
the
what we're gonna do. That sounds good?
Yes.
All right. So every week we'll be checking in. You can pop in the chat at any point with a question, too. Or you're about to meet with a prospect and you're like, I don't know what to sell them on. Whatever you need feedback from. I'm trying to set up these bank accounts. I don't know what to do. Maybe instead of starting with 4, I start with 2 and I work from there. You know, so at any point you can pop in the chat and I'll get back to you with a response. Or even to celebrate or to share.
And you
Monday-
fixed the chat, the one that we were like not in the right one, and you switched it or something.
Yes, that was my club one.
Okay. But
Yeah.
but we don't have to do
This
it
is
on
the
our
right
end to be switched, right? Like you've done it. I don't need to like take myself out of something.
Yeah.
Okay,
What's
cool.
that, right?
Yeah, let me know when you're on that, Amanda.
I just downloaded it.
Oh, good. I'll add
We're
you.
talking.
And then everyone's on it.
Yay.
Yep, there you are.
Cute.
Okay.
Oh, sweet.
All right, cool. I'll put in a little thing so that everyone knows. All right. Any questions?
Oh, gosh.
How was today's?
What's that? What's today?
I said, how was today's session?
Oh, good. I like writing it all down. I like feeling like I actually did something right now.
Yeah, and that was part of our conversation, right, Kim? Like, if you could just show up
No,
You're
which
gonna
is
be doing
important to
stuff.
feel that way, because a lot of times it's like, okay, great, now on to the next. Like I'll close the computer and have 1,000 other things and not do any of the things. And I feel like we did a lot in the actual time we spent together, which is huge. And hopefully I can do one thing per week.
You will, because you have me.
Yes, be on my
Yeah.
ass.
And maybe that's your to-do list is each week you put on your calendar an hour,
Yeah.
but your money empire hour.
And we'll each share the
Yeah.
hour, and then one of us will check in. And if we both don't check in, we know we're both being jerks.
Yeah.
Right.
You set your money date and then
Yeah.
Cool.
I guess my only question is, when is the next session so I can put in my calendar and not forget?
did you cause yeah, you got the email a while ago. Okay. It is October 16th.
Okay.
October
Same time, 12?
12 o'clock. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Remember.
And then the last one is November 13th.
13th.
Mm-hmm. Getting done before Thanksgiving, before it gets crazy.
Okay.
So on the 16th, I might only be able to come for like the first half. I'll be getting on a plane to go to California that afternoon. I have to pick up the kids early from school to get to the plane on time by myself, traveling for the first time with 2 children. So
You can do it.
You can do it. Any mama can, you can.
right.
Trying to think
No.
of what else I have.
You got this. Don't be scared.
All right, good. Good job today, ladies.
Thank you.
I'm excited for all of you. Keep it moving forward. Pop in the chat.
That's it.
Email if you have any questions. If there's something you need to hash out, we can do a quick call too if you want to do something one-on-one. Okay?
Perfect.
Okay.
Thanks, Jess.
Bye, guys.
Bye.